We start with breaking news tonight. The woman convicted of killing Deputy Christopher Taylor will spend the next 29 years in prison. Hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Safadi.
And I'm Amanda Hall in for Lois. Charlotte County Sheriff's Deputy Christopher Taylor was tragically killed in the line of duty. He was only 23 years old. He was performing a traffic stop along 75 North near the Jones Loop exit. Cassandra Smith was sentenced today for her role in Deputy Taylor's death. She crossed 3 lanes of traffic and slammed into Taylor's patrol car. It happened in November 2022. This is the moment right before it happened. We froze it right before Taylor's body falls back and is caught underneath Smith's Jeep. We have team coverage of today's sentencing. Wink News anchor Russ McCaskey is live in studio with the details of her sentence. But first, reporter Claire Galt was in court during the emotional testimony and is live in Charlotte County for us. Claire, how is Taylor's family doing?
Amanda, they're doing their best. We have watched the Taylor family spend the last 14 months in absolute agony. Chris's death shattered them. He was 23 years old, he had a fiance, and he had a future. So while they say that justice for Cassandra Smith has been served, a piece of them is still gone, and it always will be. Christopher Taylor's family, his friends, and his fellow deputies at the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office have made countless visits to his grave site. They can't touch him or hug him, but they still talk to him, tell him how much they miss and love him.
Christopher, I love you, I miss you, and I wish he was still here, but I know he's with the Lord.
Now they'll visit his grave and tell Chris they kept their promise.
And we got some type of justice today for you.
Chris's mom, Karen, said the judge sentencing her son's killer to 29 years in prison felt like closure. Closure she has prayed for since November 22nd, 2022. The night Cassandra Smith decided to drive drunk with a blood alcohol level of 0.258. She crossed 3 lanes of traffic on Interstate 75, then struck and killed the Charlotte County deputy who was conducting a traffic stop.
I'll never forgive her. She took my son.
Chris's dad, Richard, did not want to talk to anyone after the sentencing, but he did not hold back when he took the stand.
And I thought, no, that's not good. 3 Collier County deputies were at my door crying. And they said, "Are you Lieutenant Richard Taylor?" And I said, "I am." "Do you have a son, Christopher Elmo Jordan Taylor?" I said, "I do." And 2 of the deputies took a knee. And that's when I fell to mine. Always remember and never forget my son, Deputy Christopher Taylor. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, badge number 3624. I hope your buzz was worth it. You killed not only my son that day, you killed me.
The Taylors told me nothing will bring Chris back. Nothing will make their family whole again. But Chris's memory and the way that he made people feel will live on forever. Now, as for forgiveness, Chris's dad told me he's working on it. Chris's mom, well, you heard her say she just can't. Live in Charlotte County, Claire Galt, Wink News.
All right, Claire, thank you. Our team coverage continues now with Wink News anchor Russ McCaskey. Russ, obviously an outpouring of emotion inside the courtroom. We saw that, but the judge was steadfast in his decision. Cassandra Smith didn't get the maximum sentence, but it was close.
And Chris, it was. And the sentence came down following a long afternoon in the courtroom. First, there were the victim impact statements, where Deputy Taylor's father told the court the night his son died, he died as well. Then in the character statements, for the first time, we heard from Cassandra Smith herself. She was remorseful, talked about her mental health issues, being suicidal, being diagnosed bipolar. She said she would do anything to bring Deputy Taylor back. In the end, though, the prosecution was seeking a 30-year sentence. The defense asked for 12.16 years, along with probation and therapy. After all the statements, the judge wasted no time in handing out justice. Cassandra Smith was given 29 years.
I'm going to start with count 3, the vehicular homicide. Ms. Smith, as it relates to count 3, the jury having found you guilty, I will adjudicate you guilty of that offense, sentence you to 15 years in the Department of Corrections. As to count 1, DUI manslaughter, violation of Florida Statute 316.193 sub 3. At this time, the court will adjudicate you guilty of that offense. Sentence you to 14 years in the Department of Corrections, consecutive to count 3. That'll be for a total of 29 years.
She has 30 days to appeal. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, Cassandra Smith spoke to Deputy Taylor's family before hearing that sentence.
Literally anything to go back to before the night of November 22nd, 2022, to bring Christopher back to the arms of his loved ones and make these families whole again. But unfortunately, life doesn't work like that, and the only way through it is forward, ideally with improvements along the way. I hate that there is such pain and anguish because of this tragedy, the extreme distress felt by all about the situation.
Well, after court adjourned, Charlotte County Sheriff Bill Promell sent us a statement on the sentencing. He says, with today's sentencing, Deputy Taylor's families, both blood and blue, can take another step forward in finding closure. Seeing justice served as a big part of that. And although it won't bring Chris back to us, it at least brings a bit of relief. To Mrs. Smith, I want to encourage you to use these 29 years growing as a person. Let this terrible choice you made serve as a catalyst that turns your life around, for you have forever changed the life of the Taylor family. The next step for us is to honor Chris's sacrifice in a more permanent way, and we're making progress on that through Representative Roach's bill to rename the I-75 Peace River Bridge in his memory. That bill has already begun the approval process, and I will update you once we cross the finish line so we can again celebrate Chris's legacy together. Amanda?